Hello there. I'm live. I'm not happy, but I'm kind of sort of happy. But regardless of how happy I'm live. I've been waiting all 4 days for Sunday night. And if you see the shirt I'm wearing, you'll understand why. In addition to election woes, I've had other issues with stuff breaking down. The weather hasn't helped any. I had a small miracle when I rode my bicycle back home from work and it did not rain despite all the prognostications. So thank heaven for that. At least my work week ended on a relatively high note. And Mike Tirico and Chris Collinsworth are in the booth discussing what the game will be like. The Lions versus the Texans. And two very good teams, so hopefully it'll be a very good game. And one can only hope that'll happen anyway. Yes, 2 years away from both teams being removed away from the playoff picture and getting among the top 3 picks in the draft, all of whom turned out very well. So, naturally, it goes to commercial break as someone comes here. Other good things to note, at least, in the football world. My Cardinals thumped in an absolute fashion the Jets. And I wish I would have been on TV so I could see it. But as someone who's stuck with antenna, I got stuck with the Eagles-Cowboys game. Not exactly a thriller in of itself. Also, my Sun Devils are in contention for the Big 12 championship still. They are bowl eligible and cemented their status further by beating Central Florida. Then we have the Oregon Ducks, as I'm living in the Portland area. They're currently number 1 in the nation and have run roughshod through their new conference. You can bet the Great Midwest and Northeast is regretting letting them in, while USC and UCLA are regretting making the move, as both teams are in the bottom half of that conference, along with Stanford and Cal being at the bottom of the ACC. Really bad. The only team worse than them is Florida State, which is saying a lot at how their program has gone down the drain. Only 1 win in 9 games. Yeesh. And with daylight saving time over, not that it ever actually went away, at least as far as the clocks are concerned. It's completely dark outside, so I've got the blinds closed and I've got a lamp going on the other side of the room, giving me even coverage by the lamps. And I finally have the right setup in terms of me being seen in a halfway decent fashion. So, at the next commercial break, I'll go over the rest of the NFL. and other sports. They're about ready to kick it off down in the streets of Houston town. Roof is open at NRG Stadium. So Will Anderson Jr. is out for the Texans. And there's still no Nico Collins for the Texans as well. Diggs, of course, is out for the season completely with that ACL. Aiden Hutchinson with his broken leg. Dan Campbell finally has a over 500 regular season record. D'Amico Ryans has gotten off to a fantastic start. Although there was that loss to the Jets, who we in Cardinal Land absolutely smoked today. So they're saying about 30% of the attendance is Lions fans tonight. At least they don't dominate. With the Texans doing so well, Houstonians are obviously going to be back in their corner after some miserable years. Kai Fairbairn is going to kick it off. He kind of ships it. So, nope, touchback. Bear with me for a minute. So I'm hearing Detroit's the number one scoring offense in the NFL. I do not doubt it for a second. Goff back to pass. And he dunked it into the turf. He was under pressure. In this 6-game win streak, he's only had 22 incompletions. It averages to about 3.5 a game. And I'll come to that subject in a minute. Goff's on the gun now with Gibbs getting the handoff. And he gets about 5. Kyler Murray only had 2 incompletions today. He had more touchdowns running and passing than incompletions. He's definitely back. Oh, hey, Nash. Welcome to the fold. We've got St. Brown on a shovel pass, and St. Brown gets the first down. That rhymed. I think I got a hit. So, Nash, I'm surprised to see you here. Are your streaming days over? Let me know. And whoever else is joining in, thanks for the stopping by. Feel free to chat me up on anything if you want. Take or check it off and stay a while. So with the first down on the 42, it's a handoff to Montgomery, who gets about 4. They're introducing the Houston defense on the TV. Already took care of the Lions offense. One of the players actually introduced himself as Rico Suave. Goff back to pass. He had to throw it around the defensive end, and Jameson Williams trying to do a Saquon Barkley impression, but it didn't get him far, and we have a flag on the field anyways. Let's see what the verdict is, as Bill Vinovich is the head man. An eligible receiver downfield. Zeitler, number 71, is the guilty party. Oh, okay, that's cool. I hope to do that someday. It's been a long time since I've done that with any of my cousins. Hanging out, that is. So it's 2nd and 11 due to the penalty. Goff's in the gun. Gibbs is to his right in motion. Gobb's back to pass. Oh! It's intercepted. It was tipped by a defensive lineman coming off the edge. And the guy who introduced himself as Rico Suave was the one who got the pick. He had to dive for it, but he got it. Did what send? So, for the sake of officialness, it's been confirmed, and C.J. Stroud's taken over. He got great field position. It's at the Lions 33. So his makeshift receiving core, let's see how they can do. In the meantime, they hand it off to Mixon, Joe Mixon, the ex-Bengal, who has been a godsend for their running game. Okay, it did send. Whatever the heck that means. Sorry, At any rate, it's 2nd and 8. Hey, that rhymed. I think I got a hit. So Stroud is under center this time. Tight ends in motion. The pitch is to Mixon. And the Detroit Lions get behind the line and get him down. So it's probably back to the original line of scrimmage. Oh, okay. That was Brian Branch with the tackle. Kirby Joseph was and the other Lions were being held like crazy, but it didn't work. Branch with a nice diving tackle. Stroud's in the gun this time. Back to pass. And he gets it off. And the current superstar for the receiving core, Tank Dell, got it. He had a really good season last year before he got hurt and then out for the season. So it's just short of the 20. Dell's in motion now. Handoff is to Mixon again. and he gets 2. So, Nash, your Bills did a yeoman's job against the Colts on the road. They have to face the Chiefs next week. That ought to be a smoking game. I'm hoping for that tonight, too. Stroud's under center. Tight ends in motion, going one way, then the other, then going back again. Again, it's a handoff to Mixon, and he's in trouble again. Oh, he got out of it, but things just got worse. So it's third, again, a loss after a second down. He lost 8 on that one. Davis was the one who first got to him, lost contact with him, but the rest of the team got involved eventually. Stroud's in the gun again. Back to pass, 4-man rush, and he gets it off. Mechie was the receiver who caught it, and astoundingly, he got the first down. Stroud looked like he was going to run it, but just before he went over the line of scrimmage, he got the pass to Mechie. And Mechie had enough space to get there. So, given their woeful performance against the Jets, he really needs this to get his team get on the good foot. And he's back to pass again, gets it off to the tight end, number 87, Stover, who gets a couple. And Zaloni was the one with the tackle, number 34. As Jared Goff looks on in undoubtedly frustrated fashion. Stover's another Buckeye plying his trade in the NFL. Surprise timeout early in the quarter. The play clock was running down something fierce. So officially 7:50 left in the quarter. They're featuring Aaron Glenn, a defensive coordinator on TV. Texan through and through. Spent all his football days down there. But now he's working in Detroit and doing well as the Lions D coordinator. Hand off to Mixon, and he's going to get it. First time all night, he wasn't touched until it was too late. And he's doing his little strut and celebration. Seven-play drive that took 5 minutes. So the offensive line of the Texans, which has drawn a ton of scrutiny for their failure last week, proven their worth for the moment. And Fairbairn's going to try the extra point, and it's good. So the interception by Goff was only the 6th turnover by the Lions for the season thus far. That's less than a turnover a game. So, in other sports here locally, I already told you last week about the Timbers getting shellacked by Vancouver in the play-in game. On the ladies' side, the Thorns lost to New York, New Jersey, Gotham FC. So no soccer teams in the playoffs anymore for either gender. Okay. Well, I hope you had fun. And elsewhere, basketball started up and hockey. And my Suns started out 8-1, beat the Mavericks on a last-second shot by Durant. Unfortunately, his hamstring gave out after that. And he's on the bench again. And of course, I told you about the Cardinals. And I'm now actually having to, in earnest, talk about playoff positioning with them. I'm trying not to think too much ahead, but it's inevitable. You forecast the way things are going to be, because Lord knows there's nothing else to talk about. Okay. So Fairbairn's going to kick it off again. And again, he chips it a little, and again, it's still deep enough in the end zone that the Lions want to do the touchback thing. So Durant's out at least 2 weeks with what's actually a calf strain. And we'll get to that eventually. Back to the action on the gridiron. Goff is under center, doing the audible thing and directing where to have people go. David Montgomery got the handoff and got nothing in terms of yardage. So 2nd and 10. Goff still under center. And back to pass this time. And he slings it, and he's got a guy open. Oh, almost intercepted again. Stingley had it in his hands. Ultimately, I guess it was underthrown, but Williams had him beat. Stingley caught up with it, but couldn't hold on to it, fortunately for the Lions. So it'll be 3rd and 10. Goff's under in the gun this time, excuse me. Back to pass again. There's a 5-man rush, and now we got beep, 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 and the refs threw a flag. Delay a game on the Lions. So not a good start. Obviously enough for the Lions. It'll be 3rd and 15. Your T-Wolves, how are they doing? Especially since they traded Karl Anthony Towns to the Knicks. I'll tell you once this play's over. Goff's in the gun. And under the gun, so to speak. Back to pass. Gets it off to Laporta, who is trying to battle his way for the first down, but won't get there. Got 10 yards, but they held him up after that. So the Lions will have to punt. And the T-Wolves are 6-3. 2 games behind the Oklahoma City Thunder in the Northwest. My Suns have won 7 in a row. Fox has punted it off, and we got a return going. Ooh. Nice return by number 82. Got it about to midfield. And J.D. Stroud will get things underway for the offense in a hot minute or two. So the Suns and the Thunder are tied for first in the Western Conference with identical 8-1 records. Thunder definitely picking up where they left off. The Suns are pleasantly surprising in my mind, given how bad or how underwhelming they were, even though they had a winning season and got the 5th seed. They've been healthy to start the season with all their top 3, and apparently their free agent signings last year have borne a lot of fruit. Tyus Jones is their new point guard, a true point guard, who has excelled at the ball handling for the Suns and allowed the Big 3 to do what they do, along with Yusuf Nurkic. The Blazers, in the meantime, are 3-7. And not exactly lighting the world on fire, although they did play my Suns tough. Had quite the comeback attempt. It was nice to see that on TV. Meanwhile, the Southwest is pretty crowded. Actually, typically the West is the best in terms of overall records. There are only 4 teams in the conference with losing records at this point. Okay. The Strouds / Texans look ready to go. Let's see if they can really pound into the Lions to begin the quarter. 6:22 is left in the quarter. Stroud's in the gun. Back to pass. Lifts it off to Dell. Close to a first down. And we're now going to have the Houston offense introduced. Interesting that Stover didn't say the Ohio State University like Stroud did. Speaking of Stroud, he's back to pass, gets another pass off to Dell, and a first down is the result. When it comes to the Eastern Conference, the Cavaliers are undefeated. I didn't expect that. And they, along with the Celtics, are the only teams with winning records in the East. A lot of mediocrity there. Oh, Lord have mercy. Stroud hands it off to Mixon, but has to dive in order to be able to gain yardage, and he gets about 1.5 or 2. 5 minutes left in the quarter. And we now have the Lions defense being introduced. Anzalone introduced himself as a father of 2 rather than a school. Cheeky monkey. Stroud back to pass. He does a slough off to Mixon, who is getting down to the yardage. He's to the 10, the 5, and he's finally dropped at the 3. Crowd's loving that. So he had a 5-man rush, and Mixon cut it back to the right and burned every Texan in his vicinity. He gets the handoff and gets it to the 1, but we've got laundry. Oh, are you a fan of DC United or Minnesota United? I kind of lost track of what's going on in soccer since the Timbers lost. In the meantime, Scruggs is the guilty party, the offensive lineman, number 70 for the Texans. And he's guilty of the hold, which is more of a takedown than anything. So it's 1st and goal, but it's moved all the way back to the 13. Stroud is under center. Hands it off to Mixon, who gets about 2. Oh, Minnesota. Oh, yeah, makes sense. Well, congratulations to them. Yeah. Since you follow soccer as well, how surprised were you that Inter Miami, superstar Inter Miami, got taken out by the 9th seed in the East, Atlanta? In the Sunshine State, no less. I mean, Messi was fully healthy, as was most of the squad. In the meantime, Laramie Tunsil's being taken off the field. He got run into in the back of his foot by one of the Lions defenders. Oh, you didn't know about that? Yeah, I only just found out about it yesterday night. Stroud's back to pass, and he lofts it up, but it's too far for Mixon to get to it. So it's 3rd and goal, and under 3 minutes left. Yeah. One interesting stat, it was noted on MLS's website. The first 7 seasons of the league's existence, the top team in the regular season, won 4 of those years. Since then, in the last 22 seasons, and now 23, there have been only 4 number 1 teams that won the title. As Stroud got sacked, so they lost more yardage. So Detroit's defense comes up big. And Fairbairn will have to attempt a field goal. So the spy on Stroud was the one who got the sack. And it's going to be a 34-yard field goal for Fairbairn, and it is good. So the Texans are up 10-0. Yeah. MLS changes their playoff advancing methods, it seems, every year. It was a 3-game series for the quarterfinals in each conference. And Miami won the first game. And then proceeded to lose the next 2. Oh, my. And you gotta bet the folks at the league office aren't terribly thrilled about this development. Because we've got football, basketball, and hockey going on. The World Series just ended, so that's the lone sport you don't have to worry about competing for attention with. And for all the talk about North America getting into soccer, we're still kind of star dependent on that. And foreign star dependent on that. Not too many homegrowns lighting things up. They're all going to Europe. Well, almost all of them. I'm not 100%. I'm not still 100% set from my move. There are still things I have to take care of, but for the most part, I'm good. So I'll have to look into this situation a little deeper tomorrow. Unless I have the time today, and then I can figure out what the heck is going on with the state of soccer in the good old USA. Well, we're back to the action pretty soon. The Lions haven't had back-to-back division titles or conference titles since the early 50s. So if they manage it this year, it'll have been 70 years since that happened. Fairbairn's kicking it off again. And again, it's another touchback. So the Lions will be back on offense. Ball's at the 30. Goff's in the gun. Gibbs is to his right. And they fake the handoff to Gibbs. And Goff has to get out of the pocket. And he has to throw the ball away. God-awful start for the Lions offense tonight. 2:02 left in the quarter. I'm trying to be, but when it comes to hockey, I never really followed it much in the first place. Growing up and speaking as a child of the 70s and 80s, actually, I'm going to hold that thought. Gibbs got the handoff, and he is going to lose a lot. The Texans defense swarmed over him. Speaking as a child of the 70s and 80s, hockey was never on network TV during the weekends. They didn't even show the playoffs. It was that low on the totem pole. I grew up a basketball fan because my sons, when I was living in Phoenix, were so good. They were constantly on television, whether it was local or national. Goff's back to pass. It's 3rd and 16, and he guns it, and he gets it. Oh, Williams, he bobbled it, but he managed to hold on to it, and he's at the 48, and the Lions have their first down. Maybe their second. They haven't had many. Let me put it that way. Yeah, when he leapt up to get it, he couldn't hold on to it right away, and then he almost did the thing where he looked upfield before he had full possession of it. Okay, so 1st and 10 for the Lions. Goff back to pass. He gets it out on the side to Gibbs, who gets a decent gain, and they've made it into Texans territory. And given the play clock is higher than the game clock at this point, they may not get this next play off before the quarter ends. The Texans are kind of back on their heels now. Let's see if they get it off in time. Nope. So the Texans get a bit of a breather now as they'll switch sides, and they won't have too far to walk to do that. Okay. So let's discuss this MLS thing. I got to get to the page first. Okay. Thankfully, they have a playoffs tab on their homepage. So it was Real Salt Lake that they beat. And the New York Red Bulls did in Columbus. That was quite the surprise. And NYC beat Cincinnati. Yeah, you're right. The East had the 1, 2, and 3 go down in flames. So only Orlando was the one to make it out. And they had to do it on penalty kicks to survive against Charlotte. Well, Messi, welcome to playoff craziness. You too, Suarez. Getting a look at the Johnson Space Center, which I wish I could have seen a lot more of when I visited there for my cousin's wedding. Okay, so it's officially listed at the Texans 49. 2nd and 6, Goff is under center. Williams is in motion to the top. And it's handed off to Gibbs, who again is struggling to get traction and could get to the line of scrimmage and no further. So it's going to be 3rd and 6. Crowd's really loud for the Texans. That 70% of the stadium is really making itself heard. Williams again in motion. Goff is in the gun. Gibbs is to his right. Snap is away. We're back to pass. It's a 5-man rush. Goff gets it away, and Williams got the catch again. And again, he gets a first down. And he threw a slingshot pass. No wobble in it at all. Goff's under center. Handed off to Gibbs. And this time he finally gets some yardage, about 4, to the 31. So the Lions have got a good thing going here. Down by 10. They kind of sort of really need this score. So it's going to be single back formation with Gibbs directly behind Goff, who is under center. St. Brown's in motion to the bottom. And it's a handoff to Gibbs again, who was initially stopped at the line of scrimmage, but got around his line a bit and got about 2.5 yards. So it'll be 3rd down. It's 3rd and 1 officially. And empty backfield for the Lions. Goff back to pass. And he is going to run for the first down. All the defense went to his left. There was no one to cover his right side. And he immediately saw the space and ran for it. Didn't get much, but that was all. He didn't need much. He only needed 1.5 yards. The ball's at the 25. And it's a handoff to Gibbs yet again. And again, he gets decent yardage to the 5. He gets 5 to the 20. So 2nd and 5. If you're just joining me, pleased to have you here. Feel free to chat me up if you want. Take off your jacket and stay a while. And most of you are probably wearing jackets this time because it's really getting cold in the fall time now. Goff's in the gun. Gets the snap. Back to pass after faking the handoff to Gibbs. And he gets it off. And he's got Laporta for the touchdown. Lofted it over to the defense. And that was an easy one. And I don't know what celebration this is, but I like it. So he rolled out to his right to get some space away from the defense, and it worked like a charm. Bates gets the extra point, and it's a 3-point lead for the Texans. So, let's see. When it came to the West, aside from Portland's god-awful standing, the two LA teams made it along with Seattle. So the Pacific is well represented. It would have been nice if Portland would have been the one, but they would have had to face LAFC, who still had their hands full with Vancouver. I have to give the Whitecaps credit. They won the second game at home in a shutout. And it's interesting that it'll be 2 weeks before we get to the semifinals in both conferences. These seasons are getting deeper and deeper into the end of the year. All of soccer is getting kind of in this scheduling frenzy where it's become a year-round sport, no time to rest at any time at all. Unless you're a very bad team. And then you can rest up all you want. So Bates is going to be the one to kick it off here for the Lions. And he kicks it away. And another touchback. And yes, there has been a running back renaissance. We got 3 players already approaching 1,000 yards. And we have a handoff, and now we have another handoff. There were 2 attempted pitch outs to wide receivers, and Tank Dell was the last one to receive it, and he was in trouble right away because the Lions got through rather easily and probably able to keep containment. They lost 6 on that. So Stroud is in the gun, back to pass now. And he's going to chuck it deep. And yep, we got pass interference. Pass was attempted for Hutchinson, number 19, no relation to Aiden, on the Lions. Arnold was the guilty party, number 0, did not turn around when the ball came towards his way. Stroud threw that a long way, and he made it look like he was just having another day at the park. The throw was about effort, looked effortless. And Arnold dove at him to try to prevent the completion. That couldn't have been any more obvious, but other obvious penalties you'd think would be called haven't. And Mixon now getting the carry and getting nothing. We're under 9:30 to go in the half. Ball's at the 35 of the Lions. Stroud back to pass, and he's in the pressure, but he gets it off. Oh! And that time when Dell looked like it was going to catch it, Brantz met him right as Dell got the ball and knocked it out. So hello to everyone who's joining me. Feel free to chat me up about anything if you want. Take off your jacket and stay a while. Boy, Branch really had exquisite timing on that stop. So the ball is listed a little past the 35. It's 3rd and 10. They hand it off to Mixon, which is something of a surprise. And the Lions were not surprised. / they were not blocked terribly well. So despite the loss of Hutchinson, D-line of the Lions has done very well. McNeil seems to have taken over the lead, number 54. So Kaimi Fairbairn going to kick it. Indeed. It's going to be a 56, and he got it. Well, you got to be impressed with kickers nowadays. The record before Tom Dempsey made that 63-yarder previously was 56. And now people are kicking 50-plus yarders like it's nobody's business. And 60-plus yarders. Fairbairn's one of them. But we're now at commercial break. So, let's see. What else is there to talk about? Give me some ideas, people. Let me guess, you got nothing. Well, I'm looking around at the condition of my apartment. And not bad. Not bad at all. Could be better, of course. Let's see, I've been living here a good 7 weeks now. And like I said, it's come together about 95% worth. So Texans kicking it off. And again, it's a touchback. And Fairbairn's cutting it very close with where he puts it. Okay, the handoff is to Montgomery. Lucky to get back to the line of scrimmage. Oh, yeah. Ugh. Forgot about the standings for the NFL. I'll try and remember that for the next commercial break. But I'll try and get a head start. Goff is back to pass and just gets it off after almost being sacked, but it went nowhere. To nobody in particular is probably more likely the way I should say it. But it looks like we got a penalty against the Texans. Hands to the face, Danielle Hunter. Danielle Hunter, sorry, number 55. He was the guilty party. Although it looked like more it wasn't so much to the front of the face. It was more like to the chin area. The neck, then the chin area. So, automatic first down for the Lions as a result. So 7:42 left. That's an offensive lineman in motion. And Goff's back to pass. Oh! It's intercepted again. Ugh. Well, first I was thrown off by the fact that they had an O lineman going in motion and lining up in a tight end spot. And then it looked like there was good protection, but number 96 of the Texans hit Goff's arm. And Toa, number 39 of the Lions, winds up with an interception after it was batted around a bunch of places. If Goff had thrown it when he was faking it, he might have been able to get away from that. So we got a pass from Stroud to Tank Dell, who's trying to corkscrew his way around the defense, but no gain. Well, they say he got a yard, amazingly enough, so it's 2nd and 9. And there are 7 minutes left. Ball's just away from the 35. Stroud's back to pass. It's another quick pass to Hutchinson. And he gets a first down to the 25. So for what it's worth in the NFL today, it was another any given Sunday type of weekend. Teams winning that you wouldn't expect to have won. So both tight ends for the Texans are in motion, as in is Mixon, so we have an empty backfield now. Stroud's back to pass, gets it off quickly again, this time to Mixon, who gets 9. 6 minutes left in the half. And the play's already happening. And Mixon gets a first down. Winds up tackled at the 11. So he's starting to get some more spacing in between the tackles to get some gains going. And last weekend was obviously quite the any given Sunday moment for the Texans, losing to the Jets. But they are not taking anything for granted this time. Pitch to Mixon, and Lions were there and waiting and did not let him gain any yardage. Under 5 minutes left in the half. Stroud's in the gun, Mixon's to his left. Stroud's now back to pass. And he's in trouble and can't get it to Mixon properly. So it'll be 3rd and 10. There hasn't been much blitzing tonight. At the most, we've seen either 5 or 6 people rush the quarterback. So, Stroud's in the gun again. Mixon's to his right this time. Dell's in motion. 2 receivers on either side of the ball. Stroud's back to pass. And he's forced to run. And now he throws. But it went through the hands of Woods, ex-Ram. So again, they prevent a touchdown. And again, Fairbairn will have to kick a field goal. Be a 29-yarder. Kick is on the way, and it is true. So the Texans have scored on all their 4 possessions. But have only gotten 3 field goals. The 4. So, with the Jets getting their hats handed to them and New England beating Who the heck did they beat again? Come on, Internet. Oh, yeah, Chicago. That was quite the surprise. Chicago has not been the same since their Hail Mary debacle against the Commanders. So Buffalo's fully running away with the division. And Nash, I can safely assume that you're happy with that development. The Steelers beat the Commanders, speaking of the Commanders, in Commander Land, and jumped up above the Ravens, who took care of the Bengals in a controversial fashion last Thursday. So those two teams are looking like the world beaters in the North. You've got the Texans tonight, who are trying to put some distance between them and the Colts. And in the AFC West, of course, there was the Chiefs with that wild finish. And the Chargers are just doing a workmanlike job of staying in second place, with the Broncos losing. They still have a shot at the playoffs. It'll depend on how the bottom feeders in the division can react, whether they can attempt some sort of comeback. We'll talk about the NFC after this next series. Fairbairn kicks it off. This time it's a little deeper in the end zone, and more obviously it'll be a touchback this time. Yeah, ref ball isn't distinguishing itself in a positive fashion. Although, ironically enough, on that final drive last Thursday, because I was watching Grossi call it, the Ravens had 3 defensive penalties in a row, and it looked like a foregone conclusion the Bengals were going to tie it up. But then they had to go and try for 2 instead of trying to hold on for the overtime. And yeah, that was obvious pass interference on the 2-pointer, but you don't want to give them a chance to leave it to the refs. They'd have been better off going for the extra point. Take the points when they're easiest to get. So there was a run there that only gained 2 yards, and that was a heck of a mess there. They tried to do something of a naked bootleg, but Houston defender was right there. The block by the tight end, or attempt at the block by the tight end, was too late. Goff ended up bouncing it off Laporta's head. So it's 3rd and 8. Like, Goff's numbers are unusually bad tonight. Goff's in the gun at the moment. Back to pass. And again, his arm was hit as he threw it, and ball went down at the feet of St. Brown. Hey, that rhymed. Maybe got a hit. Well, actually, it looks like Hunter got the back of Goff's jersey enough to jostle him. And we've got another attempt at a return. Ugh. And number 82 of the Texans ended up running into his own guy, who, well, actually half ran into his own guy, half ran into the tackler who had plowed into his own guy. Vaki, number 33, with the impressive effort. So, let's go to the NFC standings, shall we? So the Commanders, despite their loss, are still in the hunt for the division title since the Eagles made short work of the Cowboys in Dallas, or Arlington, we should say. The Vikings hanging on to beat the Jags are 7-2. And depending on the result tonight, could be tied with the Lions or could be a game back of the Lions. And the Packers are a game back of the Vikings. So still the NFC North is the best, despite the Bears losing to the Patriots. They can get a win next week, they'll be back at 500. Then there was the Falcons losing to the Saints. Saints getting that new coach smell. Did wonders for the team. Although the Panthers did well to beat the Giants in Germany. So the bottom two teams in that NFC South were the only teams that won. Tampa Bay, of course, lost to San Francisco on a game-ending field goal. And with that in mind, with the Seahawks getting a bye this week, along with the Raiders and the Packers, and who else? Oh, the Browns. Yeah, there was a team that really needed a bye week desperately. So, oh, wait, we're already back in the action. 3:15 left in the half. Stroud's under center at the 33 of the Texans. Back to pass, and he's in trouble, but he gets it off before being sacked, and it was almost intercepted. Nowoski had it seemed like, but the refs ruled it was incomplete. 95 had O'Connor had his hand on Stroud, who got the pass off, but oh, wait. Stroud had his knee down. So that's a loss of 12. And quick replay review kept Campbell from having to throw the challenge flag, even though he already threw it. You can bet, given his personality, he's going to throw it immediately, if not sooner. 2nd and 22 now. 3 minutes left to go. Hands it to Mixon, who gets a yard, and that's it. Anzalone and another Campbell, number 46, in on the tackle. So the Cardinals still lead the NFC West. They have a half-game lead over the Niners due to their win over the Bucs. The Rams play Miami tomorrow, and the Seahawks had a bye, so they stayed at 4-5. Still probably the most competitive division. But looking at the way things are, the Cardinals can keep their momentum. I'll get to see them in the playoffs. And they tried a wide receiver screen, and the Lions got away from the Texans' O-line real easy, and it was another loss. And Aaron Glenn, the defensive coordinator, is really fired up. First time they've been able to stop the Texans from scoring. Two-minute warning is in effect now. If the playoffs were to start today, the Cardinals would be either third or fourth in seeding. How do you like them apples? Let's see. I think they have a playoff tracker already. Yes, they do. So let's see how that's going. For the most part, 7 games left to go in the season. So the Cardinals are listed as fourth. Although that was before the games today. So with the Falcons losing, they might be at third. And again, I should not look too far into the distant future or even the not so distant future, but my alone shot at excitement and happiness after what I've been through this month. But it's a close run. Interesting. If the playoffs did start today, the Niners wouldn't make it because of all the better records of the wild card teams. You've got 2 teams with 7 wins at the 5 and 6 spots. And the Packers with 6 wins in the last position. Going to look at the schedule for next week. We already know the Chiefs play the Bills. So, Townsend from KC originally is going to be back to punt for the first time. The Lions do not rush, and Townsend gets it off right away. Nice kick. And that was Khalif Raymond trying to make something of it, and he could not. Open field tackle by Holman, number 32, was very impressive. Now, the Lions have all 3 timeouts, so if they can gain some momentum in this next drive, they can go ahead and use them. And march down the field. Okay. Goff hands it off to Gibbs, who gets a very hard-earned yard to the 20. They will not call timeout here. They're letting the clock run down. Fascinating. And it's a handoff to Gibbs again. It looks like the Lions have given up on trying to march down the field. Houston's going to call one of their timeouts. So, if they'd have gotten any gain on that run for first down, things would have been different. But so much for that. So Thursday night, the Commanders are going to play the Eagles. I'm sure Jeff Bezos is thrilled with that, having winning teams playing on his Prime Video, although I get to see it for free on Twitch. So now they're in passing formation, and they're going to pass it this time, or at least they tried to, but Goff was too low in throwing it to Laporta. So it's going to be a punting situation that leaves Houston with one more timeout, one final timeout to use. 106 left in the half. Number 3 of the Lions punts it away. And again, Sims is able to make a decent gain out of the punt return. And there's 54 seconds left in the half. So my Cardinals have the bye next weekend, as do the Panthers, Giants, and Bucks. Those last 3 are in desperate need of it. Although the Panthers not so much. They've won 2 in a row. They might want to keep the momentum going on. The Texans are going to be in prime time again next week when they play the Cowboys on Monday night. In the meantime, Stroud completes a pass to number 8. Stroud back to pass again. And he gets it to Mechie, number 8, who caught the previous pass. He caught it again. And they call their final timeout. Well, the Texans came armed and loaded. So other key games involving playoff potential teams. Packers are at Chicago in the morning run. Ravens are at the Steelers. Oh, that ought to be a barn burner. The Falcons are at Denver. The Seahawks are at San Francisco, or at the Niners in Santa Clara. And then I had mentioned the Chiefs-Bills earlier, too. That'll be the prime of the prime games. So the ball's in the Lions 32. Mechie's in motion. Stroud is in the gun. Back to pass. And he gets it, and it's completed to the tight end, number 86, Dalton Schultz, ex-Cowboy, I believe. 25 seconds left now. Well, the O-line's really improved their lot tonight. Stroud back to pass on this first down. Tries to loft it up, but it's too far out of the end zone. 20 seconds left. Okay, Stroud's back in the gun again. Now back to pass. Gets it off quickly. Oh, Dell had it, but couldn't hang on to it. And he was wide open. As for the other games, we've got a bunch of losing teams playing each other and a couple of wide berth situations, like the Lions are going to play the Jaguars in Detroit, or the Vikings playing the Titans. Stroud back to pass, and he gets it to Mechie again, and this time it's for a touchdown. Oh, the Texans are really dominating now. Although, with the extra point, if it's made, it'd still be a two-possession game. Well, they were wise to call that timeout when they did on the defensive side. And Fairbairn makes the extra point. Well, I am going to step away for a minute so I don't have to do that during halftime. Yeah, Nash, if you were talking about on the special teams, when the Lions got it on the punt, definitely right. Ugh. So apparently there was no TV timeout. And apparently the Lions are trying to do something. There's still 2 seconds left. The ball's at the 45. So let's see if they can do the Hail Mary thing at the end of this half. And he chucks it down there, and it's intercepted again. So that'll be the 3rd interception he's thrown in this half alone. Lassiter was the man receiving the easy gift for the Texans. So this hasn't been really competitive. Lions are shooting themselves in both feet. And they're showing a preview of the halftime highlights with the Chiefs. I saw that blocked field goal. I was pretty slack-jawed when that happened. And even though they've struggled in their games, the Chiefs are still undefeated, and I'd be hard-pressed to think at this point of anyone beating them in the Super Bowl. I'll be happy if the Cardinals just make the playoffs. I'll be extremely happy if that happens. I am going to look over their schedule for the rest of the year. They have 7 games left. Come on. I don't have their schedule memorized. And yes, I want the full schedule. Why can't you make the full schedule in small enough typing so I don't have to perpetually scroll down the screen? Let's see. All right. The halftime show has started in earnest. So, only 3 home games left for the Cards. They've had 6 already. And this is the year where we're supposed to have more than the AFC. So we have to go on the road against Seattle and Minnesota. We're back home against Seattle. And then New England. We're starting to play a tougher brand of football now. On the road against the Panthers and the Rams. And finally at home against the Niners, who now have Christian McCaffrey back. As we're looking at Patrick Mahomes' highlights for the year in doing the comeback thing. So, since the Patriots and Panthers won today, I'm not going to assume any of these games are going to be easy. So, it's going to be interesting. We'll see if any of their games get flexed. Oh, was I rated? Oh, no. Not again. I missed it again? Ugh. Caught me off guard once more. I honestly did not expect it. I'd already been rated earlier this year. Tom, you're too kind. And the rest of the Grossi posse as well. Good God. Uh, well, thank you again. I don't know how many people are left, but thank you very much for that. Hopefully, you'll stick around, even though this game isn't exactly turning into a nail biter. Oh, there's only 3 left. Damn it, damn it, damn it. Damn it, damn it, damn it. So this is now the 5th time I've been raided. He must really be running out of new people to find. Either that or there are too many people who are in subscriber only mode or who are not around when he is raiding. I wish I had ESP to determine this stuff. But I honestly did not expect it was going to happen again. Well, who's still left? Feel free to chat me up about anything. Ugh. Given Tom didn't do the afternoon game, fewer people to raid, although he did do the very early morning game in Munich. So he still managed to get his 3 games in. And that reminds me, I still intended to do post a video of all the times he's rated me and all my reactions, or lack thereof. So we have the third quarter starting up. So the kickoff has happened, and it's a touchback. It bounced out of the end zone, so there was no way it was going to be attempted to run. Cameraman needs to do a better job of making sure the head coaches are not behind fans, one of them sticking his tongue out. So Stroud's back to pass, gets it off quickly. Oh, it's intercepted! Oh my goodness! Davis with the pick. Oh my, oh my, oh my. It's intended for Tank Dell, but Davis was right on it. Read it right away and got off the block something fierce. But they're still trying to figure out, took a while for them to confirm it, but they confirmed it. So whoever's left from the raid, thank you for sticking around. We may have a close game yet, after all. Ball's at the 31. They pitch it out to Montgomery, who was barely in the game, and he makes his presence known by getting a first down. So it's put at the 19.5. There's no huddle. Goff's in the gun. St. Brown's in motion to the bottom of the screen. It's another handoff, but Montgomery is stopped and brought down for a loss of 1. The number of first downs they've had has been the fewest this season so far. We still have pretty much a half to go. 2nd and 11 for Goff. In the gun, he's back to pass. And, oh no! He's intercepted again! Oh! Lassiter gets his 2nd in a row. He was trying for Laporta, who got held up. And Lassiter broke off of him and got the ball. And we have a commercial break. So, I'm somewhat in shock from the whiplash I've gone through as a result of what I've seen. We're obviously in commercial break. I'll be back. To those who have just joined me, I welcome your thoughts in typewritten form. I gotta check out and see if my other laptop's fully recovered from crashing. I'm right here. Let's see. So it's looking like, oh no, it's not under review. But he was down at the 1 foot line. So they had to do this handoff to Mixon in a somewhat dangerous area. And he winds up getting a couple to lessen the danger. 4 interceptions for Goff. Well, he only got 1.5. So it's at the 2, 2nd and 9. Stroud's back to pass. And Woods had it, but it bounced off of him. It would have been sure of the first down anyway. Under 13 in the third. Okay. Stroud back to pass. And again, one of his receivers had it and couldn't hang on to it. Dalton Schultz this time was the intended target. Again, it wouldn't have been a first down, but it would have been able to get themselves out of a potential block punt. Townsend will punt for only the second time tonight. He's got to be careful not to step out of bounds or it'll be an automatic safety. The Lions have 10 men on the line. Still waiting for the snap, and there it goes. Oh, held on to it a little long, but he got it off. Raymond collects it at the 43. He's that cross midfield and gets to the 44. And we got some extracurricular activity. So they'll have very good field position this time around. So the Texans could not take advantage of that last turnover. And now the Lions are in Texan territory. They really have to really do something, anything at this point. Goff's under center. Williams is in motion. It's handed off to Montgomery and spun out of a tackle and gets some good yardage. past the 40. But he was in danger again of being tackled behind the line of scrimmage. Texans D-line, despite the absence of Anderson, is really doing quite the job. Both lines, defense and offense, have had a very nice game. And now we've got another injury. And it's a D-line player, as it turns out. Fadakasi is apparently the injured player. And we go to commercial. And my newer laptop has officially started up okay. So I can go back to playing a game there. Thank goodness. But I still got to figure out why my graphics, my card seems to want to fail lately. Okay. So, I'll be back. I give you my green share. Okay. Here we are. I have to remember to put in my time card. We're going to go slowly. Don't turn the game on just yet. So the St. Denis Medical Show looks like it's supposed to be the Scrubs all over again. David Allen Greer and Wendy McClendon Covey, the Hyphens, appear to be the stars. Oh, really, Nash? I don't know how the hell my chat got disconnected, but thanks for coming back. Goff is back to pass, and he is going to jack it. Oh, he got Laporta! Wow! That was quite the pass. They did a play action fake to Montgomery, and Laporta had enough distance that he was able to get to the catch. It's tackled by Murray, number 23, at about the 3. First and goal. Laporta's the man in motion. It's handed off to Montgomery, and he gets in right away. Touchdown, Lions. And they are back in this thing. And they're already going to decide to go for 2, which I think is a little early in this game. It's those damn analytics. So, Goff's back to pass. He's in the gun. Montgomery's to his left. He hands it right away to Montgomery, and he was undercut. Take the easy points. Sorry for yawning. I've been up all day. I don't know why I'd be yawning. Maybe it's the lunch I had is finally catching up to me. Petrie was the one who kept Montgomery from getting the 2-pointer. Right. Yeah, the Dolphins just haven't been the same without Tua, and then with him coming back, the defense ends up being a disappointment. There's 2 straight games on game-winning field goals, on last-second field goals. Bates is going to kick it off, and it's a touchback. Okay, Stroud's under center, and he hands it off to Mixon, who is again stopped at the line. I'm double-checking the playoff picture, Nash, just out of curiosity. Officially, no team has been eliminated. Although, if Miami does lose, that might change, and they might make it official later on in the week, either Tuesday or Wednesday. But yeah, it would take a lot for those teams to get to the playoffs. Mixon, in the meantime, gets another carry, but doesn't get much again. They had given him a yard on the previous carry somehow, and this time he's only credited with 2. The Dolphins are too talented to end up missing out on the playoffs. Well, Stroud's back to pass again. And he's got a wide open man in Schultz, who is trying to turn around and get some extra yards. He ends up tackled at the 35 with 10 minutes left in the quarter. So it was a 5-man rush for the Lions. Actually, 6. And Schultz was wide open against Anzalone. And Mixon's going to run it this time. But this time he gets some yardage, some very positive yardage. He gets 6. A for effort trying to get away from the tackle, but didn't quite work out for Schultz. Oh, the first seed. Okay, that makes more sense. Okay, fake to Mixon, and Stroud's back to pass, and he lofts it in. Oh, no, another interception! Davis again. Stroud overthrew his receiver. That's 6 interceptions. Oh, my goodness. Dell was the intended target. I don't know whether he underthrew it or just didn't get enough speed on it, or should have lofted it up more. This is why I'm not playing the game. Well, sorry about the mix-up, Nash. At any rate, I wouldn't think it would be much to see if a first seed was obtainable for a losing team anyway. But you can bet those teams are not thinking about the first seed. They're deep in misery. The misery hole is a very big one to climb out of. The Raiders have gotten rid of a couple coaches. So they're already trying to at least look ahead. As for the other teams, let's see. Yeah, the Titans lost to the Chargers, so yeah, they're still only a 2-win team. So they're showing the replay, and Dell was wide open. And if it had been thrown in a straighter arc, it would be an easy TD. But it was lofted and allowed Davis to come back and get it. So Goff pitches it to Gibbs, who's running around the end behind Penei Sewell, that all-star lineman from Oregon, which is currently undefeated and number 1 in the rankings. So Gibbs got a first down. Lassiter is being taken off the field. He was first blocked by Sewell, tried to get his way around it, and then got hit by his own guy, Ward. Oof. And it was a helmet-to-helmet hit by Ward on his own guy. Ugh. So, 8:30 left. Lions are on the move. Goff under center, fakes the handoff to Gibbs. And now he's going to heave it again. Is he going to get intercepted again? He is. Oh, my goodness. Bullock. It was too far left for Laporta, and Bullock was there to get the easy grab. Oh, actually, that wasn't Laporta. That was Jamison Williams. So they're trading turnovers at this point. Ugh. I'm going to have to lie in bed soon on account of all this whiplash. So Stroud is back under center. He pitches it to Mixon, who gets about 5. Oy, 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 oy. 2 touchdowns between the two of them and 7 interceptions. Goff has yet to be sacked, despite all the pressure. Okay, 2nd and 5 as I try to catch my breath, and Mixon gets another good gain, but not enough for the first down. It'll be 3rd and 1. I took a shower just before this. I may have to take another one soon after. 3rd and 1. Maybe less than a 1. About a half a yard to go, more like it. Stroud pitches it to Mixon. He wanted to hand it off, but Mixon kind of went a little off script, so he had to do a little one-handed slow pitch. But Mixon got a first down. Mixon, he might have gotten another long gain, but he only gets about 5, and Davis of the Lions is down. There's a penalty on the Lions for holding. 70 Scruggs is again the guilty party, and he doesn't look too happy about it. What did I do? He's got that, why me look? And Davis is upset because he's going to have to go out. Mixon kind of bowled over him. He's shaking his wrists. I think he might have gotten a stinger. It'll be 1st and 20 at any rate. Davis has been slow walking off the field, so we got to wait for that to... He's gone in the blue tent now. The ball's at the 23 of the Texans. They've restarted the clock, so it's under 6 minutes. Stroud's under center. Back to pass. And, he's down! McNeil with the sack. And McNeil is doing his darndest to avoid throwing him into the turf. And we've got another injured player. And it's McNeil who's hurt. And there's 5:30 left with this injury timeout, and it's 2nd and 30. Getting off under his own power. It looks like he's got, pointing to his cheek as if he's got a toothache. Or maybe he's got or as if he's got jaw lock, maybe. Clock's running again. Ball's now at the 13. And we got a handoff to Mixon to try and get some breathing room. He gets to the 17. So it's 3rd and very long. Or maybe he popped an eardrum. 5 minutes left. Lassiter of the Texans is going into the locker room. And Stroud fakes that pass, hands it off to, this time, Ogumbawale, who gets his first carry, I believe. So it was a double-digit gain, but well short of the first down, obviously. 4th and 15. Townsend is in the punt. It's officially at the 28. Snap is away, and so is the punt. Khalif Raymond will return it. He catches it at the 18, trying to get around, and he gets by the first defender and tackled out of bounds by number 13, Phillips, but not after getting a double-digit gain of himself, although there is now a flag. Illegal block in the back on the receiving team. Neiman, number 51, is the guilty party. It was kind of a ticky-tack foul in my estimation, but the hands were on the back. Sometimes that's all a ref needs. Okay. Let's see if I can start my game up without any consequences. Ugh. So far, so good. Okay. Looks like I'm a little late in the action, but whatever happened, there's a flag anyway. Oh, they pick it up because apparently there was no harm, no foul after all. So Golf chucked it into the ground in front of St. Brown. Hey, that rhymed. I think I may have a hit. So the ball was deemed uncatchable and no pass interference. Golf is back to pass. He lofts it and gets Gibbs on a running back screen. Sewell is just blowing everybody in his path, and Gibbs gets to the 45 with under 3 left in the quarter now. So Detroit's driving in earnest, and this game may get closer yet. This would be a heck of a comeback if the Lions can pull this off. It's pitched to Gibbs, who is hemmed in by the Texans defense, and he's lucky to make it to the line of scrimmage. Oh, Laporta's apparently hurt too. Lassiter's in the concussion protocol. So we got 2 interceptions and a concussion. He's had quite the night. And we got a handoff to Gibbs, who gets about 2. Although he's getting forward progress for another yard, so let's see what we got here. 3rd down. Looks like a passing situation. 3rd and 7. The ball is at the 47 of the Lions. Goff's in the gun. And he hands it off to Montgomery. Oh! They did not fool anyone with that, and Montgomery only got a yard. So they're punting, and it's a fair catch at the 9. So we'll see if the Texans can get out of this situation with bad field position. Come on, come on. So, already some action has been going on, and not much has been made in terms of yardage gained, and the third quarter is now officially over. So we'll see if the Lions can keep the Texans pinned down at their own end and can make something of a comeback. And whomever has joined in at the wrong time, I apologize. Going back to my game. Tut tut, it sounds like rain. Still a commercial break, thankfully. And they're previewing the future games. Good God, the Texans mascot hanging upside down in the air. I don't know when that was, but that would scare the hell out of me. And the roof's been open all night at the stadium. So I'm watching from the sidelines, trying to keep an eye on two things at once. Stroud's back to pass, and it's incomplete. Ooh. Okay. Sorry for the distraction. Almost had an accident there. Goff is back to pass since the Texans were forced to punt it away, but couldn't get it to Montgomery, and the pass was incomplete. It's been something of a sloppy game, albeit a competitive one. And we got a bunch of beep, 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 beeps. As Campbell works on the chewing gum. He's probably on his 10th piece tonight. Well, I don't know what the delay was, but Lions back in business. Goff back to pass. And he finally gets a receiver. St. Brown is down after getting 9. As we're well into the fourth quarter now. Make or break time for the Lions, if you'll forgive the cliche. And it's a handoff to Montgomery. Oh! It was close. They stood him up, but they may have given him forward progress. Yep, first down. And Zylstra did a good job trying to keep the Texans from getting onto him. So it's officially at the 46 of the Lions. It's another handoff to Montgomery, who gets nearly to the 50. So despite all the difficulties the Lions have had running the ball, they're still trying to pound it into the line and wear down the Texans' defense. So he's gotten a lot more action, Montgomery has, in the second half. He faked the handoff to him. Goff is able to get it. Oh, wow. Jameson Williams got absolutely sandwiched, but he was able to hang on to the ball, and now he's hurt. And I don't blame him for feeling that way. And Goff got shellacked too, just as he was getting the pass off. Ooh. Goff took a shot to the head. Well, it was actually the face mask. And that's one of the reasons why they have those things. Otherwise, he'd be hearing a lot of chin music. So the ball's at the 33 of the Texans. Raymond's in motion. Goff back to pass. They do the wide running back screen, and he has got an opening. And he's still on his feet and gets inside the 10. That was quite the convoy. Okay, ball's at the 9. It was a gain of 24. St. Brown's in motion, and he gets the ball. It's a wide receiver screen, and he's going to get the touchdown. Oh, my. We definitely have a game now. And It doesn't look like he's going to go for 2 this time. And they really blocked well on that. Patrick, number 17, was out there right away. There was Penei Sewell. Zeitler, the Wisconsin guy, was out there too. It's ironic. He and Sewell are on the line next to each other, and their college teams, respectively, will be playing each other next week. Oregon versus Wisconsin. Nice music. So, 8 o'clock. Okay, they're doing replays of all the turnovers that have happened. So, I'm guessing it was a touchback because the ball's at the 30 and it's 1st and 10. Stroud is under center. The tight end is in motion. Fakes the pitch. And, wow. Pass was complete to Schultz, who battles his way to midfield. Stroud was in trouble when he went back to pass. And Stroud was trying to do the Texas two-step, trying to avoid the defensive lineman, and managed to find Schultz. So 11 minutes left in the game. And it's quite a difference between the way he played in the first half and the way he's playing now. Stroud's in the gun, hands it off to Mixon, who gets nothing. It's definitely feast or famine night for him and the other running backs on the Lions. Both D-lines have seen to try and shut the run down. And Texans have spent a long time in the huddle, but they're out of it now. Stroud is under center. Schultz is in motion, and we got one of Jade's headbands. False start on the offense. Stover, number 87, was the guilty party. Second and 15. Stroud is back to pass again, stepping up, and now he's going to run, and he dives forward for a couple extra yards. Under 10 minutes now. So it was back to the original line of scrimmage. And it's 3rd and 10. Stroud's in the gun. Back to pass. Lions are rushing him. Oh, they had him. Now they definitely have him. Oh, the ball's loose. But the Texans get back on it. He was trying to get away, but eventually they got to him and they got the ball out of him. Weird thing is, look. Yeah, okay, Townsend's punting it, gets it away, and whoa, almost hit a Lion, but it's downed at the 16 by the Texans. So, that was weird. I'm sure Grossi is saying this game is on drugs. You had Stroud's own offensive lineman, Titus Howard, trying to, for some reason, pull the ball away from his own quarterback, ostensibly to maybe gain some yards for himself or the team. And he ended up causing the fumble. And he can thank his lucky stars he was able to get it back. So, things have gotten extremely interesting. The Lions have it back, albeit somewhat deep in their own territory. And they're trying to do the comeback thing. We'll see if they can accomplish it. As we get a look at the Houston skyline. Would have loved to have spent more time there after my cousin's wedding. One of only 2 times I've ever been to Texas. Okay, we're back in the action, and Gibbs is getting the handoff, and he sprints down the sideline and gets double-digit yardage on that one. So their commitment to the run appears to be paying off. He got quite the haul. He's declared out at the 32, so it's a 16-yard gain. Goff's now back to pass. Gets it to St. Brown, who is short of the first down. Hey, that rhymed again. I'm getting good at this. We're halfway through the quarter. It's going to be 2nd and 1. About a half a yard to get. And it's handed off to Gibbs, who's going to get it. And he gets through another hole, and he gets down the sideline again, and again pushed out of bounds. But not before a double-digit gain. Ooh. All righty then. Down to 7 minutes. And the ball has been placed at the 39, it appears. 1st and 10 again for the Lions in Texans territory. Another handoff to Gibbs, and he gets 6. Where the run game was horrible in the first half, and they've picked it up. And there's quite the difference. 23 yards in the first. The second half isn't over, and they've already gotten 82, in addition to a touchdown, with the same number of handoffs, almost. It's a pitch out to Gibbs, but this time the Texans are there, and that really is a problem. I know, understatement of the millennium. Because I don't know what Bates' range is, the field goal kicker, but you want to get closer, as close as possible, obviously. So they were marked at the 40. So Goff's in the gun. Back to pass. Tries to get St. Brown, but again, it was too low. He got his hands on it, but it was just too low for him to get a good grab at it. So Bates will have to attempt a very long field goal. I think he was one of those UFL guys. His long this year has been 51, but this one is going to be 58. Whoa! Just got it in! Oh, my heavens. Whew. 5:01 left, and we're tied. The longest field goal in the Lions' history. Just barely got it within the upright. Need to get more Powerade. I don't know if you all can hear the drip sound outside my window. I think I've got the drainage pipe for the rain right there. Okay, Bates is going to kick it off. Oh, the third longest field goal in Lions history. So they've corrected themselves on NBC. Okay. Stroud hands it off to Mixon, who got stopped initially, but found his way around and got about 4. We'll see if this is the last drive of the night for either team. Both teams have 3 timeouts left. Second and 6. Stroud's under center. Fakes the handoff to Mixon. Rolls out. And is in trouble. Oh! Managed to avoid the sack and get it off, but It wound up going in between two Texans receivers and is incomplete. 4:17 left. Be 3rd and 6. Stroud is now in the gun, and he gets it off. Mechie is the catcher, and he gets the first down. Fairbairn's had his share of long field goals himself, so Texans don't have to get that far. But obviously, they'd rather have the touchdown. Arnold had the tackle. Okay. Schultz is in motion. Handoff is to Mixon, who tries to go out on the outside, but Campbell, the player, not the coach, makes the tackle. Officially, they're only giving him 2. The clock is winding down. 3 minutes left. Stroud's in the gun. Dell's in motion. And he throws it to Dell, who tries to get the first down, and it looks like he will. Brian Branch forced him out of bounds with the tackle, but he expressed a bit of frustration that someone wasn't helping him out or something. Maybe he's just upset he let him get the first. It's at the 46 of the Lions. Clock stopped. And it's a handoff to Mixon yet again, who gets 5. Oh, yeah, we got the 2-minute warning to look forward to. It's interesting what they did with the helmets. All they've got is they've got one horn on each side of the helmet. Interesting. Let's see. They'll have to get up another play before the 2-minute warning. Stroud's under center. And he hands it off to Mixon again. He's been quite the workhorse tonight. And he gets to the 45. And the 2-minute warning has officially come. So, big action coming up. Okay. Here we go. Not much Jared Goff can do. He's looking forlorn on the sidelines while CJ Stroud is looking at his wrist pad trying to see what play they're calling. It's 3rd and 4. It is at the 40. Let's see what they do. Stroud's in the gun. Back to pass. Oh! It was intended for I don't know who, but it was incomplete. Hutchinson, it looks like, was the intended receiver. Arnold was covering him and was one of two in the sandwich position. Anzalone was the other guy. Both of the defensive players got their hands on the ball, but it looked like Arnold got on Hutchinson's back before the pass got there. Arnold got hurt on the play. And in the last 2 minutes, if someone's injured, you have to call a timeout for your injured player. So it's 4th and 4. So the Texans have no choice but to go for the field goal. So he's going to be equaling Bates' 58-yard attempt, and he already made a 56-yarder tonight. So either way, the Lions will have a chance, whether he makes it or miss it, to respond or go ahead. The snap, the hold, the kick, it's no good. The hold wasn't done too well, and it drifted wide left. So now the Lions have a chance to win. Well, actually, it was the snap wasn't so good either. So the Lions only have 2 timeouts. Goff is trying to audible. Can barely hear what's going on because of the crowd. He hands it off to Gibbs. And he gets across midfield in the Texans' territory. And Houston decides to call their first timeout, so they want time back on their side if they get the ball back. Sorry you saw my gut there. .146 left. Goff is under center now. Pitches it to Gibbs. Didn't get anything. Forced out of bounds. 140 left now. Al-Shair was the one who forced him out. So Detroit's got to get a big gain. At least get the first down. I don't know what if they don't make anything, I don't know what Bates' range is, even though he hit a 58-yarder. I don't know if he's hit anything beyond 60. So trips to the right, one receiver to the left. Gibbs is to the left of Goff, who's in the gun. Goff's back to pass. He gets it to St. Brown. First down for St. Brown. Rhymes again. So it looks like Houston called their final time out. He had a linebacker on him. And with his speed, I don't think it wasn't a contest. Stroud is shaking his head, looking at what the heck's going on. Okay, ball's at the 37. Goff under center, hands it to Gibbs again. Gets to the 35. Houston's out of timeouts now. Cannot stop the clock. Gibbs is going to the sideline. He must be tuckered out. Montgomery's replaced him. And they're taking their sweet time getting to the ball and the line of scrimmage. They seem content to play for field position and get Bates in range. Montgomery gets a couple of yards. And Campbell's discussing with the official when the timeout's going to be called. Only a 3-second difference between the play clock and the game clock. So it was weird. The referee called the timeout with 6 seconds. And he said, wait, I didn't want it there. But then they moved it down to 4 seconds, which should be enough time to get the field goal through the uprights and end the game. Bates apparently never played football in high school. He was a soccer guy. It's going to be a 52-yarder. Kick is up, and it is, again, just through the upright. This time it was on the left side. Oh, my. The Lions came back from 16 down. And thankfully, the 2-point conversion didn't hurt them that they missed. Oh, Lord have mercy. Ooh. It just barely skirted the flag. So the Lions are 8-1, firmly in control of the top spot in the NFC North and the NFC altogether. Texans have got to be sick. They played lights out in the first half, and then the Lions just kicked it up into the highest gear. Scored 19 unanswered. Melissa Stark is going to interview the man of the moment. You can see the shadow of the ball on the goalpost in both instances. It was that close. Okay, I am done with these headphones. I am done with this game. Thanks to all who rated me. And I apologize I didn't see you. My laptop sounds like it's begging for air. So I will end the stream. Nothing more to talk about. Bye-bye. Bye, Bonds.